U.S. versus Sean Combs, Day 12, morning update. There is a Palestinian protest over there, so my apologies if it's a little bit loud. But we finished the cross-examination of Deontay Nash, and again, that was done by Xavier Donaldson. And I feel like Deontay Nash definitely made the courtroom a little bit lighter. There was a couple moments today where he was sassy. He was very sassy. But essentially, Deontay was questioned about testimony that he gave when it came to Cassie's eye gash, the incident where he jumped on Diddy's back, and then the other friend, who was Mia, jumped on Diddy's back as well. He had testified that Diddy kept kicking and beating Cassie after she hit her eye and it was bleeding everywhere. And Donaldson pointed out that in all of his meetings with the government and, showed him all these transcripts, he never said that about the incident. He never said that Diddy continued to beat her after she was bleeding. He also pointed out something else that was never told to the government. He said that, it was on Cassie's 29th birthday, and Deontay had testified that after they went to dinner and a karaoke bar, that, at one point in the karaoke bar, he saw Diddy's finger in Cassie's face up close, and that Diddy had planned this surprise party for Cassie, and that he wanted her to do an FO after. And Deontay testified that he overheard Diddy say, I do so much for you, you can't do this one thing for me. And Donaldson pointed out and said, hey, you never said anything to the government in your many, many meetings. And he listed all the meetings about the finger pointing and about the you never do anything for me. And Deontay's response, by the way, to all of this was, I only said what I was asked. And again, he made it clear that he didn't really want to be there anyway. So I can imagine that he was just very short with a lot of his responses. He also brought up the fact that well after he stopped styling Diddy and after Cassie and Diddy broke up in 2018, and Deontay's very close to Cassie, that he continued to text him. There was one text where he said, I love you, brother, happy birthday, and another text where he was asking him how he gets an invite to one of his parties. And then Deontay said that, that was for one of my friends. But it got a little, even the judge was kind of smiling at one point, but then he kind of got annoyed. But Donaldson was building up to something. It was South Africa, basically when Cassie was said to be dating Michael B. Jordan. He was, leading up to the part where Cassie was dating Michael B. Jordan. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Deontay Nash just goes, Mr. Donaldson, I know what you're getting at here. And yes, I'm the one that hooked Cassie up with Michael B. Jordan. And he basically said, because, Diddy was off with Gina at this music festival. And apparently somebody, and I this was hard for me to understand, but maybe you can read it in another outlet, but this is what I gathered from it. A text message was sent to either Deontay or Cassie of Diddy and Gina at this music festival because somebody thought that it was Cassie. So Cassie sees this and she's like very embarrassed. Deontay had said like Cassie would get embarrassed about this stuff because she thought it made her look bad when Diddy was out and about with these girls, especially Gina. So, Deontay and Cassie were just like, all right, F it, let's forget this guy, let's go out, let's do something. And he made the introduction to Michael B. Jordan and then said actually that Mia pushed it through because she was the one that made sure Cassie had Michael B. Jordan's phone number. But he kept kind of jumping ahead, and yeah, it was funny for a minute, and then the judge was like, okay, stop. And at one point, they were talking about Cassie's 29th birthday and how Cassie, that Diddy was drunk and Cassie was very high. And Donaldson said, did you get her very high? And Deontay goes, excuse me? It was quite a moment. So that was pretty much the extent of his cross. I do want to add something else, and you know what? I'll actually say this at the end when I'm done starting with Mia. So and because I was tying together what I think that Donaldson was doing yesterday with some of his cross. But anyway, let me just start with Mia. Now, we know now why the jury was asked during jury selection about Mike Myers. Sorry. Oh my gosh, sorry. Hold that thought, Lauren. Okay, let me go back. It was revealed that Cassie was once dating someone in the NBA named Brandon. They didn't have a last name. And also, she was dating someone, we got the NFL name. That NFL name was Andre Branch. Am I supposed to know that? Because I don't. But yeah, that's who she was dating. Okay, so back to Mia. Her direct testimony started using a pseudonym. We can't describe her at all, but you know, she definitely was looking down. It was kind of hard to hear her. She's a little bit soft-spoken. But Mike Myers, this is why his name was brought up during jury selection, because she was formerly his assistant before she started working for Sean Combs. And she described her hours with Mike Myers as being from like 10 to 6. Occasionally she would get a call on the weekend to walk his dog or do something at 7. But when she got to Bad Boy working for Diddy, she was very shocked. She said that her first day of work, she was sent from the office to go to his Alpine, New Jersey house to do like some inventory. And she finished when it was kind of dark. She went back to the office in Manhattan. She stayed at the office till 10 p.m. And then someone told her that he wanted her at the studio. So then she went to Diddy's studio at 10 p.m. and she did not leave until 1 p.m. the next day. So she didn't sleep at all. And she said that she really chalked that up to just her being on like a trial as his assistant and being new. But then she talked about another time where she did not sleep for 5 days straight. And she said that she used time-released Adderall to help her get through this, But eventually she said that her body broke down and her equilibrium was off. She got, blurred vision, and she finally just started crying uncontrollably, and he sent her home to sleep. So let me see what else. I mean, we didn't get into too many specifics. There's maybe two incidents that we spoke about. And one of them was she corroborated the eye gash story, which we've actually heard 3 times now. Once from Deontay Nash, once from Cassie, and now once from Mia. And they all are a little bit different because, the human memory is not perfect, but they all kind of establish the same thing, that Cassie was thrown and by Diddy and her eye was gashed. We also heard about I think I discussed this during Cassie's testimony about a Prince party that they went to, Mia and Cassie. Mia was told to keep Cassie away from Sean Combs' house in LA for whatever reason. I guess Diddy said that he was with his kids, but maybe Mia knew otherwise. And they were supposed to stay at a hotel and not go out. Mia was supposed to keep tabs on her, which she said she did a lot. But she also testified that her and Cassie are very close and they're still like sisters to this day. Anyway, she talks about hearing about this Prince party, her and Cassie, and they kind of like are discussing this like at the hotel. Should we sneak out, like 2 teenagers? They decide to sneak out. And they go to the party. They describe Prince performing on a table. They're dancing on, purple plexiglass, having the best time. And Mia sees Diddy walk in with like this bucket hat on, and they lock eyes. And she said she was like, they booked it. So Cassie and her started running out the door. She said Diddy caught up with them, tackled Cassie. He was going to beat her, but security stepped in and stopped him. And Mia describes being suspended by HR the next day without pay for being insubordinate. And she talked about being Diddy's only assistant at one point. And she eventually worked her way up to the director of marketing, I believe, at Revolt TV, or Revolt Film. I'm sorry, not TV, film. It was separate than Revolt TV, and it was really just her working on this. She said she took the brunt a lot for other assistants just not being very good at their job or forgetting stuff. But let me see. I think, we're going to get into a lot more detail about things that happened. She had also described that Diddy once threw her into a pool, shoved her, and also said that he sexually assaulted her. And by the way, I have never seen him shake his head like this during a testimony. He shook his head twice during her testimony. Once was when she said he sexually assaulted her, and the other time was during the eye gash story. She said, Mia, that he purposely like threw her off and she hit her head, Cassie, and he was like, he shook his head. Also, I saw him turn around and blow his mom a kiss, and I was able to read his lips. He said, "How you doing, mommy?" But what I wanted to point out earlier about what I think that Xavier Donaldson was doing, and I also heard this during Direct today, was he pointed out that security helped Cassie kind of escape through like a side entrance of a hotel to escape Diddy. And also we heard that security jumped in to help Cassie at another point. And I think they're trying to say, like, if it's Rico here and he's controlling his employees for this criminal enterprise, why would they help Cassie? But anyway, more later. There's going to be a lot.